winner of 81 NASCAR Grand National Stock Car Races, the man who redefined for America the definition of driver, as our onboard cameras followed his struggle to victory in the Daytona 500. Emerson Fittipaldi, the pride of Brazil. He won 14 Grand Prix races and 2 titles in Formula One, the world's premier open cockpit road racing series. Great Britain's Derek Bell, 1983 World Endurance Championship runner-up. 1982 saw him voted by the British press as the world's top driver. Tom Sneva, twice Indianapolis Car United States champion. He was the Indy pole position winner this year and the Indianapolis winner of 1983. Each will drive an identical copy of this racer in quest of $465,000 as CBS Sports presents the return of the International Race of Champions. Laps, 101 miles in round 3 of the International Race of Champions. In the front row, Tom Sneva, and beside him, Belgium's Jackie Ickx. In row 2, it is Dale Earnhardt, who says it is a must situation for him today, and Emerson Fittipaldi alongside. Then in row 3 comes Johnny Rutherford, and the real trier of this series, Danny Ongais. In row 4, Darrell Waltrip and Derek Bell. They are currently tied for 5th in the standings. Up in row 5 is Cale Yarborough and Gordon Johncock. And out back, the 2 leaders, just 1 point apart. Benny Parsons with 29 points, Neil Bonnet with 30. 12 drivers with 38 laps. Down to the line, 12 cars with 38 laps through the Tri-Oval. And remember, at Talladega, it is not here at the Tri-Oval you find the start-finish line as you would at Daytona or Charlotte, but it's down toward the first turn. And so there's a second opportunity to pass. One in turn 4, and then that last lap when the green flag comes out that Tri-Oval down to Harold Kinney. The green flag is down, and the race is underway. Sneva drops out in front. Earnhardt pulling into second. That's Jackie Ickx in second, and into third goes Earnhardt. On the bottom of the racetrack, Johnny Rutherford coming to 4th. Falling to 5th is Fittipaldi out of turn 2. Here's Neil Bonnet pressing up against the wall. See if there's any running room up there with some clear air. Try and sail past the cars at the end.
You notice Bonnet's right hand is in a cast. This will be the last weekend he wears that cast for a wrist that he's broken and rebroken and has had trouble with it all season long.
There's Benny Parsons driving hurt on the inside. They look from the back. Derek Bell just in front of Neil Bonnet. They go to the, whoa, sideways and slamming into the wall. It is Derek Bell's automobile. Bell taking a terrible hit. Still crashing and sliding. Derek Bell's car all torn up. And that is the Bell car coming to a halt, and immediately he climbs out. Neil Bonnet's car also getting thumped. You're back in Bonnet's automobile, and you were with Neil as it happened.
Well, that's right. Neil pulled to the left there. He passed one car on the right, then cut across, and I think maybe there wasn't quite enough room for that type of maneuver. But here he is, driving around looking okay, checking the car, and slowing down, of course, as the yellow flag waves.
So the car number 15 for Derek Bell is badly torn up, and Bonnet apparently lost a windshield in that altercation. Let's take a look in replay at the incident. Back of the field. Now watch the white car in the back. That is Derek Bell. He starts to move up. Bonnet starts to come down. They seem to touch. Now watch the Bell car head for the wall.
Here's the afternoon. 38 laps, 1 lap down. Remember, caution laps are not counted. So
Bonnet simply sailing.
Bonnet's one of them.
Bonnet gathers it up, and he keeps on going. Now let's look from the in-car camera at this situation another time. There is Derek Bell just in front.
Now Bonnet is turning to the left here, and you can see Bonnet's right front corner, just off camera there, moves Bell into a slide, which triggered the whole action. Bell caught the car on his left.
Benny Parsons tagging the white car, and it socks the wall, taking that right front tire and driving it back about 2 feet.
I'd say our camera operators on these in-car cameras really deserve a pat on the back for that action.
Let's go to Ned Jarrett with Derek Bell.
Derek, can you tell us what happened?
Well, I thought I was in there with professional drivers, but they're like bloody animals out there. I mean, I was just two guys behind me coming around there, and suddenly somebody hit me up the back. Then another one hit me. I don't know, there's two guys in here. I think it's Parsons, whoever else is Bonnet. I mean, just so stupid. It's unnecessary on the first lap to have an accident. I mean, they need their brains testing.
Well, you can see that Derek is very upset about it. Of course, you know, just the very first...
I hit the wall at 175 miles an hour head on, you know. And then I hit the wall at the bottom, then spun around again and ended up down here. I came 500 yards. Just lunacy. I mean, they're stupid. Need a bloody brain thing.
Well, Derek, we're sorry to see you have that problem, but we are happy that you're okay.
Thank you. So am I, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, Kim, that's the story for Derek Bell, and obviously he's very upset about the situation.
Derek Bell's first experience at the Alabama International Motor Speedway, his second experience on a super speedway, not very pleasant for him. Down the line, through the tri-oval, about 400 feet away from the start-finish line here at the Alabama International Motor Speedway. Earl Kinder holds him back, green flag is extended, and we're underway. Breaks out in front. Jackie Hicks the second, Earnhardt is third, and Fittipaldi is fourth. As they go to turn number one. Off to a little easier start this time. Fort Sneva as he gets some breathing room. Bottom of the racetrack, Johnny Rutherford now into fourth. Here they are, climbing to full speed out of turn number two. Sneva in front. Earnhardt looking for a shot.
And the back cars cannot be able to stay with the group.
They're the back cars, and they are falling back. The aerodynamics a little ruined on them. Just saw Neil Bonnet go underneath Derek Bell. Here he goes to work on Benny Parsons, and he climbs up the inside. Bonnet taking another spot. He's up on Jackie Hicks. On Gaius is high on the outside as they run them three wide. Coming down to complete lap number one, and Bonnet's got his boot in it. Denny Ungaius. No one has tried harder to win this series, and there goes Ungaius on the high side, beginning to maneuver as he's using up all the land, and it's just a little bit of a touch there, and Ungaius is in trouble. Sliding down out of turn number two. Picks it back up. He tried to move through. Still sliding. Caution is out of the track. Non-counting laps, these caution laps. No matter where he goes, trouble seems to follow Danny Ungaius.
Danny on the gas, and this needed to live up to that name.
That's really sad. He tries so hard, and he is so determined. Danny Ungaius bringing out the first caution of the race. After we had our green flag start, and there you see the incident. Waltrip is up there, Chris.
Well, Danny's way up at the top of the track in the marbles there where you can't get a hold. And when he got off the gas, the front end went down, the back end got loose, and there he loops down. Knocks the rear spoiler off. Now notice that he doesn't have the brakes on. He's not smoking the tires. That's just, the tires are going around while they're smoking. So he's not flat spotting his tires. Be interesting to see whether he calls at the pits or not.
Winner of 6 IndyCar races, winless since 1978. Danny Ungaius still trying to gather it back up. Ready for restart. Ungaius now a lap down in Bonnet's yellow car, which has taken a lot of abuse, out back. The white car, Derek Bell, running to the 10th position. Here's the start. Parsons back underway as they march in lockstep down into turn number one. And Derek Bell tries to climb his way around the banking to the back to pull by some machines.
Derek likes to take them one at a time. He's not into moving into this Piccadilly Circus traffic that he sees on the track here.
Derek Bell got a new definition of a round-around out here this afternoon. Here he is, back straightaway, number one, back with the leaders. Parsons out in front. Yarborough is in second. Cale Yarborough, line right there, and there's a little interval back to the third place man, Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt has said this is it for him in the International Race of Champions. Must-win situation. Darrell Waltrip lies fourth. Rutherford fifth. Back to the line they steam to complete the 14th of 38 laps. Tom Sneva is sixth. William John Clark is seventh. Emerson Fittipaldi runs in eighth. They may stay like this for a while, Chris. Kind of wait it out here.
Well, the interval is such there that here's a look from Tom Sneva's car, the IndyCar specialist, and there's some vibration there on his hood a little bit. You can see his hood is shattering up and down. All those little things affect the performance of a car.
Tom Sneva. And they're all taking an identical line here. Be very careful with these cars that you get a little air scooped into them. NASCAR drivers very familiar with that. Parsons looking for his second IROC victory, Chris.
8 years ago was when he won his first one. It's a long time between wins already. Wonder how his shoulder's holding up right now.
Ongais way off the pace and falling back. In fact, Ongais will pit.
The rear spoilers are missing off his car, and of course the downforce is just not there.
Danny Ongais brings car number 9. One of these equally prepared, and as Richter was saying this morning, never have they had the cars closer together in time than here at Talladega. The series leader in the International Race of Champions is leading, but only by a whisker. Parsons in front of Yarborough, Earnhardt, Waltrip, Rutherford, Sneva, and it's time for the charge. When they come by this time, they will have completed 31 of the 38 laps, and Sneva's getting anxious and taking some shots on the inside, and he's falling back. In behind Fittipaldi, John Cock moving up to 6th. Up to 7th comes Fittipaldi. Sneva back to 8th. 180 miles per hour here. Equally prepared. Chevrolet Camaros in the 1984 International Race of Champions go into turn number 1 and 2.
If Sneva could get by Fittipaldi and get hooked up with John Cock, it may be an IndyCar gang set ganging up on the stock car boys.
Out of Tom Sneva's car, just empty spaces behind him. He has fallen back. Now, the end of that pack, he's back at 8th. Bell is 9th. Hicks 10th. Neil Bond at 11th. And Danny Ongais, the tailgater. Here they are, back out of 4 another time. Parsons staying there. Yarborough looking things over. You got to think that Yarborough's getting ready to make his move. He's tied. Yarborough is tied with Bobby Allison and Bobby Unser for overall wins in IROC at 4. Now here's Denny Parsons into turn number 1. And this is not the time to shoot your shot, right, Chris?
That's right. John Cock and Rutherford, 5th and 6th. Fittipaldi 7th. And 4 stock car drivers up front.
Working the 33rd of 38 laps. Now you're looking at Gordon Johncock. Be a real factor here in those final laps. He knows what he wants. He wants Fittipaldi with him, and he wants them to tail to the back of this group and then drive down the inside. Let's see if Fittipaldi's going to go with him. Parsons. The blue car, Yarborough. The red car, Earnhardt. Then the light blue car is Darrell Waltrip.
You've got to know that Cale Yarborough is going to try the slingshot on the closing lap. He has an unrivaled record in 18 starts. He's won 8 first and second place finishes. No one has come close to Cale Yarborough's IROC record.
But that's not a Waddell Wilson engine like we've seen in those great NASCAR performances at Daytona and here at Talladega.
What else can he do?
The thing is that there's about 4 others that are all going to be figuring on the same move. For certain, Earnhardt, you know that Waltrip will take a shot at him here. Rutherford, classy guy, he'll come through, and now there is Earnhardt taking a little peek at the inside going into turn number 3.
You know what that is? That's a test to see what happens to the car when you start to move out of the direct draft. So what Earnhardt is doing now is trying to decide 3 laps from now, whatever it is, 4 laps from now, where he wants to go.
4 laps to go this time by. 18-degree tri-oval of the world's fastest racing oval. And there you have it. In a bundle. Sneva has fallen back. It's a 7-car draft for the lead, and Tom Sneva back about 10, now 20-car lengths from that front 7. And Fittipaldi trying to hold on to the car of Gordon Johncock here. Back straightaway. And nobody wants to show their hand.
Now, there's not enough room between Yarborough's front and the back of Parsons' car to do any slingshotting. You have to have an open interval. So let's see if Yarborough lets Benny get a couple of car lengths ahead to land these closing laps.
Here's Yarborough beginning to switch lanes a little in that second spot. You saw him go down inside. You saw him go back just a little high, maybe taking in some cool air here. Last laps. Final moments of round 3 of the International Race of Champions, and this is a doozy. Here we are at turn number 2, back straightaway. Sneva, no longer a factor. 7 cars to decide it. Although if they get in a scramble, Tom Sneva could find himself in pretty good shape. Again, just a little off the line to the inside, moves Earnhardt.
You know, it looks like Neil Bonnet, the series leader going in now, is going to be an also-ran when this race is over today.
Back once again in Neil Bonnet's car. He led the standings going into this. Remember, he's running 11th, all taped up after that horrendous crash at the commencement of the race. Complete restart. All right, back with the leaders. Through the trioval. Start-finish line in. There are 2 laps to go at 180 miles per hour. They approach the first turn. Parsons stays there. Kenny hold on and take the lead in the International Race of Champions through 3 rounds.
You know, these Chevy engines have been performing extraordinarily well. They've been running. There's no air going in those radiators to speak of. They're not overheating, and the speeds have been consistently high. No malfunctions. These cars are really well put together.
Here they are. Cars originally came out of the shop of Banjo Matthews, out of North Carolina, completed up in New Jersey. And those 355 Chevrolet cubic inch engines now getting a real workout as we move around into the final moments. Down they come. White flag in hand. Last lap coming up of round 3. High Rock. Parsons, Kenny stay there. Yarborough, will he take it away? Where will Waltrip move? Rutherford, Kenny Storm come through. John Cox sitting back there.
There goes Waltrip. The first to move.
Waltrip on the bottom of the track. Low, pulls up beside Earnhardt. Squeezes down on Cale Yarborough.
He knows what he wants. He's got a follower.
And as they dice back there, it's a little breather for Parsons. Back straight away.
Earnhardt's trying.
Here comes Cale Yarborough. Yarborough to the inside. Yarborough making his move. Waltrip coming with him. Parsons sliding to 3rd. Going back to 4th. Rutherford moves into 3rd. Out in front, it's Cale Yarborough. Waltrip there, knocking on the door. Here they come out of 4, looking for the finish line. It is Cale Yarborough first. Here they come for the tri-oval. Down they come. Yarborough first. Waltrip second. As they blaze down to the line, dropping on the inside, comes Waltrip side by side. And it looks like Waltrip pulled it off, Chris.
Waltrip by about 14 inches. What a drive. What a finish there. On the apron. He was down on the flat.
Nearly too close to call as they come across the line. And Darrell Waltrip in this car appropriates the 3rd International Race of Champions in 1984 with lead change after lead change in the final lap, and he is ecstatic.